What the hell is Sauce Sports or whatever that last call was talking about? What the hell is that?
Guys are from Free Love, man.
North side, south side, east side, west side. Perfect. It's the sauce, ho. You know what the fuck it is. From the east to the west, gotta represent. From the north to the south, gotta represent. They try to steal the sauce, but they ain't got the fresh ingredients. I know the round table, the real round table. Anything else, bitch, that's just an imitation. Shout out Wide, shout out Wink. What up, Tenny? What up, Ray Ray? What up, Spitz? 10 toes down since the beginning. If I miss you, I ain't dish you. Call the sauce line if you got an issue. From the Rockets, the Stros, Texans, the Dynamo, Houston's #1 sports show, brought to you by Honcho. Perfect. North side, south side, east side, west side. Cody. It's the sauce, ho. You know what the fuck it is. From the east to the west, gotta represent. From the north to the south, gotta represent. They try to steal the sauce, but they ain't got the fresh ingredients. I know the round table, the real round table. Anything else, bitch, that's just an imitation. Shout out Wide, shout out Wink. What up, Tenny? What up, Ray Ray? What up, Spitz? 10 toes down since the beginning. If I miss you, I ain't dish you. Call the sauce line if you got an issue. From the Rockets, the Stros, Texans, the Dynamo, Houston's #1 sports show, brought to you by Honcho. Perfect. North side, south side.
1, 2, 3, 4. What's the motherfucking deal? Y'all give me just a minute. I was doing everything kind of last minute. I was trying to get everything together here. We're pretty much good to go. I just gotta do 1 or 2 things. So I'm finna reset the countdown real quick. Dab, what's the motherfucking deal? And excuse me. Yeah, let me reset the countdown real quick. And then by the time that second 2-minute goes, we should be good to go and get this party started, right? Let's get this party started quickly. All right, cool. Then I gotta pay the sauce line real quick. So y'all don't mind me. While we're doing that, look at that Sauce Nation roll call, drop that in the chat. Shout out to C. Montgomery. Shout out to the Slum in the building. Shout out to if you're from the east side, west side, north side, south side, wherever you may identify, however you get down. You know, shout out your hood, set, block, avenue, cul-de-sac, street, circle, boulevard, however you some of you guys are in I can't even think of the damn name of the thing about it right now. Anyway, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Your military ranking, you might still be the highest level of education you may have completed. Whatever it is, however you identify, however you get down, go ahead and drop that in the chat. Like I said, I'm gonna run it thrusting. Shout out to D Davis, aka Swisher Man, with the plan. Hey, y'all give me, like I said, just give me just a second. We're gonna count down back real quick, and by the time that's done, we should be ready for say some fun. We're gonna talk Texans. I'm talking about Jalen Green and his baby daddy issues, and what the Texans looking like. So give me just a second, and we're gonna dive into that.
It's the sauce, ho. You know what the fuck it is. From the east to the west, gotta represent. From the north to the south, gotta represent. They try.
And then actually, in Trill, because I jumped back in I didn't leave, but I was doing stuff. So 2B2, I meant to ask you a question because Trillard specifically, because you have a certain view of rappers, and for whatever reason, this particular rapper came to mind. How do you feel about Little Flip as a rapper, Trill? I want to know your opinion. Because you have specific critiques of rappers, so I'm curious about your thoughts on that. All right, I'm put the song back playing. I'll be right back with y'all.
North side, south side, east side, west side. It's the sauce, ho. You know what the fuck it is. From the east to the west, gotta represent. From the north to the south, gotta represent.
Hoy tenga una mañana otra.
Know the round table, the real round table. Anything else, bitch, that's just an imitation. Shout out Wide, shout out Wink. What up, Tinny? What up, Ray Ray? What up, Spitz? 10 toes down since the beginning. If I miss you, I ain't dish you. Call the sauce line if you got an issue. From the Rockies, the Stros, Texans, the Dynamo, Houston's #1 sports show, brought to you by Honcho.
Perfect.
North side, south side, east side, west side.
Perfect.
It's the sauce, ho. You know what the fuck it is. From the east.
Just give me a moment, maybe in the background, because I wasted time asking Trill that goofy ass question. Let me play the sauce line real quick, and then, like I say, we'll chop it up. We see what we got in the building. I see Dab, I see C. Montgomery, I see Red Lobo. What's the motherfucking deal? South Park in the building. Chill out. What's the motherfucking deal? Port Arthur, Texas, formerly known as the land of the Trill. Shout out to T.A. Trill. D. Davis. Spitz. Brenham, Texas finest. What's the motherfucking deal? DeMarkey. I don't know what happened to my Wrench Johnson. Max. Be safe out there in ATL. Heard there's a lot of Transformers and a lot of questionable characters out there. Stay safe, Mr. Max. But good to see you. He said he fell off double this. So you have no issue with Flips rapping. Trinity go out in the building, J Boogie 10, what's the motherfucking deal? So you have no issue with Flipperachi, is what you're telling me. You have no problem with Little Flipper. Okay. It's just interesting. Definitely don't thrust the Transformers. So, like I said, we got a couple things to talk about. We're going to talk prospects. We're going to talk pro days. And y'all got to forgive me because I've been all over the place. And so I see that the Texans were in attendance, I believe, at UT. And I heard that, I believe they said Stroud was back at Ohio State doing his due diligence. Even after the pro day was over, that he remained there. I got to save that. I got to contact him. Give me just one moment. Let me pay this shit real quick, and then we're gonna talk some shit. We're gonna spill some sauce or all that other good stuff that you know and love. You're like, Hunter, you should have paid the goddamn sauce line for you got live. That's what the fuck's wrong. You know what? I didn't. Okay, I didn't do it, and you're just gonna have to deal with it with me right now until we get this part taken care of. All right, cool. I'm talking about session time. Session no goddamn time out. Arturo, what's the motherfucking deal? Herb Gotti, who is dude? What's the motherfucking deal? Excuse me. Pardon me. And again, I hope everybody's doing well today, wherever you may be in the land. You're gonna give me one option, to fucking asshole. Yeah, I gotta pay my fucking credit card. All right, let me do this shit real quick. We were talking about this shit in the fucking den last night about convenience, right? I'm over here fat fingering it. Yes, we are in the great state of Texas. Give me like 42 more seconds, y'all. We'll get this shit. I don't even know what fucking email. I think it's this one. Okay. Blickety blow. Blickety blow. I don't even know my fucking card number. I think I do. I think I got it mostly memorized. Like it'll be. I'll memorize it. Sometimes I forget it. Oh, I got that bitch. Hold up. All right, cool. And let's do this. Let's do this. And used to be CVV on here. They say CVN. Not to be confused with a CPN. If you know, you know. If you don't, well, free yourself. Chameleonaire. Okay. I don't know if I just paid the bitch or not, huh? I literally hit the pay button. This bitch took me to a whole nother fucking screen. I'm hoping it paid. I don't see it charging my card yet. All right, there it is. So I better pay my shit. Yeah, okay. Ah, damn it. Heard what I'm saying about the convenience now. I can use the fucking authenticator. Authenticate your fucking account with two-factor authentication. All right. Let's get to it. We're going to talk some Texans. And, all right, cool. We got all that done. Don't ask me shit for the next 90 days. All right, cool. We good? We Gucci? Everything is solid. All right, excellent. So, let's get to the main screen. I know you're tired of looking at this screen. So, first and foremost, Ray, what's the motherfucking deal? Jabari, what's the motherfucking deal? Mitch, what's the motherfucking deal? Wink, what's the motherfucking deal? So, but like I was saying, so if I'm not mistaken, and like I said, it was a glimpse earlier, I believe the Texans, I want to say at least Caserio, at the very least, and I believe a couple of others were at UT watching old buddy. Y'all know I don't be knowing these college players' names. Look, it's too much coming. A lot of motherfuckers peak in college, so I don't be trying to learn motherfuckers' names. But what the fuck is that? Yeah, pardon me, she's just doing things. So it's my bad 'cause I did that. And I think everything else should be fucking straight. No, it's not. It's not that. It is that. And there we go. I guess that helps to do this too. And damn, that bit big, that bit. Or is it just not showing up? I think that's some hoe shit. Okay. Anyway, so looking at where they were in attendance, looking at the places that I believe they had a couple at Ohio State. I'm not sure where all else. All right. But, you know, are the Texans giving us hints? Are they giving us clues? Are they giving us insight? Are they showing their hand? Right? Because Ricky D brought up a good point the other day. You know, when talking about when the Texans were, doing their due diligence on C.J. Stroud and how they actually interviewed other teammates and asked them, about Stroud. You know what's going to kind of be fucked up about that? Like, imagine getting interviewed by a pro team, and you're not a guy that you thought was that you thought you were on that radar, right? And so, what the fuck? Well, you're not a guy that was necessarily on, you thought you were on anybody's radar, and you probably weren't. And you get interviewed by a pro team, and you're thinking, oh, maybe I got a shot. Maybe somebody is looking at me. I just want to know about your buddy CJ. How does that? Is that deflating? Like, does that make you feel a particular kind of way if you are an athlete, or should you just be happy that you got to? Somebody still wants to talk to you. It's not that. Let me get the right camera on here. Bow and bow. All right, there we go. Not a fucking camera want to freeze up. And the worst, craziest looking angry honcho face. All right, there we go. Oh, why the fuck is you doing that? If it ain't one thing, it's a fucking another. It's got me out chopped and screwed right now. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. She's got me kind of offbeat. It was doing that shit yesterday with the whatchamacallit. Anyway, so they went to UT. They went to Anderson. They kept it in the house in the state. And again, like I said, CJ was at Ohio State. Again, I know there's some names there that people like. I know there's some names that, many Texans fans have, uttered. But the possibility, the likelihood that we get some of those names is highly unlikely, right? The likelihood of us coming away with a Marvin, not so much, right? I think it would take a great fall like Humpty Dumpty. And I know that he didn't work out, and so that may turn some teams off, right? I think if the Texans did have interest in him, they already know everything they need to know. But speaking with CJ, so I don't really think it's neither here nor there. If that was a route that they were really attempting to go, I don't think that's in the game plan. I think there's still a trick or two to be unveiled, right? What was that fucking what was that dude, the Magic? David Blaine. Yeah, Nicky Scissors is gonna pull up David Blaine. He'll pull a couple of magic tricks out of his hat. I don't think it's over yet, right? So, and I know a lot of people are talking receiver. I don't really feel like it's necessarily a priority, personally. It's a need, kinda, you want to have that, but I don't feel like a receiver is a priority right now, right? And again, you got Tank coming back, and I know not having him for about half a season kind of made a lot of people forget. But Tank and Nico, we're a relatively dynamic duo in their own right? And so Wink was on yesterday, and I kind of brought that premise up about can we have too much weaponry? Can we have too many weapons? And he was like, no, hey, it's going to make it easier if we do. But I feel like we have a decent to solid core right now. Could it be better? Yeah. I'm not saying it's the best, but I don't feel like it's a situation where we're absolutely in a need for a wide receiver right now. I don't think that's a thing. I'm more concerned about filling a few spots on the defense where we do have a couple of holes, even though we've got remarkably improved on defense overall. The edge position, it's been a question that's been going around, and I want to know y'all's thoughts. And if this is the answer. If the Texans don't have the best edge rotation in the NFL right now, who does? They're really high on CB. Oh, the Bears gonna bear, right? The Bears. And let me see. So you went so you went to Keller Williams program, held up a sign that said you aren't better than Stroud. Yeah, at least you're spitting facts. You know what I'm saying? You're spitting the truth. Yeah, the Niners ain't going back nowhere. And like I said, I don't think that's done. I think when we're talking receivers, there's a particular guy on the Niners I wouldn't mind having if we have options overall because the familiarity, I think, is a big plus. Being able to get in and get things going on the right foot. And again, we're talking about veterans, so I don't think any of them would have just necessarily be an issue. But I think familiarity with schemes is a huge thing. But like I said, we're just in a situation where the Texans don't really, since the inception of Nicky Scissors, they haven't really shown their hand too much. So we gotta pick at all the scraps that we can get. We gotta take apart whatever little information that we can and try to dissect it and try to make something out of it, right? Because the release of information is airtight. I haven't seen too many locals just on top of what. It's been a day, but not enough sleep. But like I said, you think I was underrated? Okay. So my thing is, like I say, it's just that. Oh yeah, probably like I said, I'm a little bit tired. But Texas, as far as the D-line, as far as the edge, we're solid. As far as the Texans figuring out their hand with Nick and what he's up to and what he's trying to do, they don't give a lot out, right? It's a lot of speculation. A lot of the local media hasn't been breaking or dropping a lot of news with that. Stephen Harris, what's the motherfucking deal? You know what I'm saying? You say the Ravens D-line and the Giants? Okay. Yeah, like I said, there's pieces. I know Perryman with some. I'm gonna be honest. I know we re-signed. But I can't. My brain is is out of there. You know, you have like a limited amount of thinking power throughout the day. I think I've used mine up for the day. Oh, buddy, we just re-signed, man. Oh, buddy, we just resigned. Fucking, and I actually like that. Not the but motherfucker, we just brought. I can't think for shit. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Oh, buddy, we just resigned, which I think was a solid move. Was keeping him. I can't Barnett. Yeah, I can. I keep wanting to say Collins because Collins on the poster back there. I'm very upset about that. Malik Collins is the month of March on the Houston Texans poster, and he's no longer here. So no, Barnett. Yeah, that's what I meant. We resigned him? I didn't know we resigned him. So I think, like I said, again, it's just that was a solid. I won't say a solid, but it was a necessary move. But yeah, like I say, it's just hard to determine, and I like it actually. I like it because I'm not a person that really gets overexcited. You know, playing the guessing games and the speculation. That's not my thing, right? I'm not really on that. I've done like what 1 or 2 mock drafts in my fucking life. I don't really get into it, right? But I see that people take it extremely serious. Shout out, Derek, appreciate that. I see people take it extremely serious, and so I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it at all. It's just not necessarily my cup of tea. It's just weird. I didn't know that there were rules, right? Like I figured like a mock draft would be your own personal approach to drafting, right? Like how you would approach it, how you would go about it if you were the GM of the particular team that you're drafting for. I see people out there telling, well, you got to think like your GM and why? Why do I got to think? One, who thinks like fucking Nick? Like who the fuck thinks like Nick? I don't know anybody who thinks like fucking Nick. How many of y'all in here would just wear vests, right? I ain't wore a vest since like elementary when I thought them hoes was cool. Maybe junior. I think I might have had one in junior. I think I remember the last vest I ever wore, right? It was gray. Oh my goodness, man! I apologize, y'all. Cause I've been ripping and running. I wanted to make sure we're staying consistent, but I'm a little gassed. I'm trying to give me a fucking full throttle. I'm gonna drink the energy drink. But I haven't worn a vest since I had a gray when it had like a maroon stripe across the front. That's the last time. Eric Murray. I got you. I'm gonna get everything back in order. I got to update some stuff in the shop. And then eventually get back to making my own merch again. But again, like I said, I apologize. I'm not there. But yeah, full throttle, baby. You know the full throttle. Yeah, shit. Look, full throttle is cracking a can, man. If you can't get a red line, which should be illegal. Look, a red line is meth in a bottle. Okay. Full throttle is cracking a can. Okay. So, y'all take that how you want to. Y'all, phrase it however you want to, or, you examine it however you want to. If you're just having a slow boogie day and you need a little juice, you got to do what you got to do. It'd be hard. Sometimes they don't even sell full throttles everywhere. I know a lot of people that stop selling because I know people are having issues with them. I don't need to drink none of that shit. All that shit is terrible. I end up like fucking Kevin Samuels. Drinking too much. You drink too much of that fucking Red Bull. So you wore a vest to your baptism when you were 10. I'm pretty sure I might have been 12 or 13 the last time I wore a fucking vest. Man. I used to unload them trucks at Walmart back in the day. I did that shit for like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, and then they made me a fucking lead. I used to be in there getting it. I used to like being in the fucking trucks. And then I'm a fucking lead when they made me a lead. Instead of me motivating the people, I ended up hopping in their shit, just helping them get the shit done. Because I was like, you ain't gonna fucking do this shit. Let me just get in here, get a little workout in. But yeah, shout out to all the Walmart workers of the world, the loaders, unloaders, the stockers, the dockers, the customer service people with the shitty ass attitudes. Real random fact, and I'm going way off the trail. I'm gonna open up the line here in a second. I'm gonna be honest. I'm brain farting today. It's just it's just one of them days. I'm trying to tell you, you'll be swollen the bitch in them hoes. I'm opening the line here in a second. We'll probably go about an hour. But now y'all saw that shit that they're talking about with Walmart now? Like, because so many people are stealing from the fucking self-checkouts that now they're actually going to start putting people back at the cash registers, and the only way you can use the self-checkout is if you're like a Walmart Plus member. So, like, if you paid a little, what is it, like $98 a year or whatever it is a month? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll say this, say Lou. This shirt is on par with your roster of hoes. So if this shirt is whack, your roster is whack. We'll do it like that. That's how we gonna rock. Yeah, that's what they're gonna start doing because they're saying that so many people are stealing from the self-checkouts that you're gonna have to be a Walmart Plus member to start using the self-checkouts now, which is fucking stupid. Like, y'all could have been like, people have been complaining for you to open up the fucking registers. You go in the fucking Walmart and it's one register open, everything else is self-checkout. And then they added all the extras. So like, y'all knew motherfuckers was still like, what the fuck did you think was gonna happen? Y'all ain't got enough fucking undercover agents. And I'm not a stealer. I don't steal. I don't agree with that type of stuff. Sometimes I know people who accidentally leave things under their carts. Sometimes they accidentally forget it. But I'm gonna be honest, bro. If I want to walk out, like, you ever see those videos? And I'm going to start going into a den conversation here. Let me get ready to open up the line before I go far left field. You ever see the videos where they like hassle a motherfucker like right at the door, like motherfucker just go in there and walk out with a TV? I seen one the other day, the dude trying to walk out there with a big screen or flat screen TV, whatever. And they fighting him all at the thing, end up taking the fucking TV out of his hands, throwing it on the ground and kick it. They're going to go put that TV right back on the fucking shelf. Like, this TV that just got body slammed because somebody tried to steal that bitch. They're going to go put that bitch right on the shelf, and somebody's going to buy that fucking TV. And, yeah, somebody's going to buy that TV and have to deal with those fucking problems. You know what I mean? So, it's off the wall. Yeah, basically, that's basically what it is, right? But again, these companies been finding ways to fucking stiff us one way or another. Like, hey, look at Walmart. If y'all gonna make motherfuckers do all that, look, you need to open back up to 24 hours, goddamn. If this is where we're going, I need Walmart back open 24 hours a day. So yeah, that's what the fuck am I doing in Top Chat? No wonder why shit was looking weird. All right. You say DoorDash? Shit. I got beef with, being a former Dasher, I be having beef with Dash and stuff. And then fucking, yeah, I literally, like, the store's right there. It's like right there. I feel like a real dickhead. DoorDash some shit. Give me a second. We're going to open up the line. And let me make sure we got the right number on. So, like, we're talking prospects. We're talking pro days. And again, so if you checked out any pro days today, I want to know who stood out to you. Did anybody, in your opinion, if you are a watcher of the pro days, if you are watching where the Texans are in attendance, were any moves made, or were there any players that maybe moved up the draft board to you today? All right. I'm going to be honest. Old buddy from UT doing the drills with the shirt off, bro, that's not a good look. You out there with the man boobies. Like, I'm going to be honest. It's a bold move. Pro days at Trey. Yeah. Still can't use DoorDash. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. Because we were talking about this in the den last night. We were talking about the old ways versus the new ways and when things were better. Like, yeah, convenience is at an all-time high, but so is mental depression or mental illness and human fragility and fucking just overall weakness is also at all time. There's a correlation, right? There's a definite correlation. So, I don't blame you. I think it's probably overall better and much healthier for you to do your own thing. Plus, you know, sometimes you motherfucker end up tipping somebody more, or it costs more to fucking the delivery fee or the fucking. Cause I don't do that fucking. I dash pass for a little, but I don't use enough to fucking dash pass. I probably use Uber One a lot more than I do the dash pass thing. And so, like I said, by the time you fucking it's paid for, you paying for the fucking thing like 5 times over, or at least 3 or 4 times over, especially if you're only getting one item. And then what they ass gonna do, they're gonna go to a fucking Walgreens or somewhere that you do order from, and they're gonna not be able to find it, and they're gonna substitute it with some bullshit. Like these motherfuckers. let me chill, because I don't know what I'm talking about at the end of the night. Well, yes I do. I'm lying. I do know what I'm talking about at the end of the night, but I'm about to start going into a den topic if I continue to talk about DoorDash. So let's open up the line. Let's hear from Sauce Nation. I want to know how y'all feeling. I want to know what y'all on today. Any particular players that you watched the pro day of that you feel like their stock moved up, either for the Texans or, in the draft as a whole? And who are you expecting the Texans to obtain? What is it, the 42nd pick? And what do you expect the Texans to? What direction do you expect the Texans to go with that pick? Give me 1 second. Let me put the number up. You know what? I know what I'm throwing off today. I know exactly what I'm throwing off today. I know exactly what it is. They say niggas okay. Do this how his first 2 seasons were. What you say was the worst, Jimmy? You say so you say you feel like Nick's first 2 seasons were bad, Derek? And you say Rick Smith's still the GOAT? Okay. Marquise Hill, what's the motherfucking deal? The line about to be at the back. So what? Because you already know the fucking the cashiers can't count. Don't give them no cash. If you don't look, I know we got some Gen Zers, and what's the new shit they call them, Generation Alpha. That's the dumbest shit ever. No, fuck no. Generation Alpha, they ain't starting shit. They ain't alpha shit. If we're talking in terms of alpha, and I don't even like the term alpha and beta. I think people got that shit misconstrued, but it is whatever. I mean, it's an understanding, so we use the terminology, you kind of compartmentalize what we're talking about. But that's definitely, if we're any generation is alpha, they're definitely not the alpha generation. Alfalfa? Yeah, absolutely. Big Al, what's the motherfucking deal? Cost limited off, man. Look, y'all, y'all gonna make me go straight to the den. The den is at thedenshow.com. It'll take you straight to the channel. And we'll be rocking at 9 on there tonight. I think we're gonna hang with the ladies tonight. I think that's what type of time I'm on. Usually we do a lot of lady bashing, and the ladies get mad in the den. But I'm gonna take a different route today, and I expect some of the fellas to be calling in today because I'm getting them mad today for sure. But yeah, just at thedenshow.com. Word. I'm honestly, I'm jealous. Y'all like, I know a lot of y'all are not familiar with the den, but I talk about that shit in the den. I'm for real. Like if I have I want a farm. Like I know time, the final countdown. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I say that jokingly, but I'm fucking serious, right? I'm super fucking serious. I'm super fucking serious. Out the way. A solid few acres. I need to be 2 or 3 hours from any major city. I want chickens. I want to live like Ray Ray. When I grow up, I want to live like Ray Ray. Right? Yeah. So you said I feel like Nick had a solid first 2 seasons though with what he was given. With what he had to deal with, because he didn't have he had a 3rd round pick was his first one. He didn't have he didn't have a first round pick. You're kind of coming in after the aftermath of the O'Brien era. You're definitely not having the Bandit, but you thought you were maybe coming into having that. We don't have that. Like you had to make the moves that you had to make, right? So I mean, shit. What really could you do? I feel like if anything, his first year should not count against him, right? Like it was a tough position to be in. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, I talked about that the other day. I talked about we did that not yesterday, the day before. And shout out to Beyond Funny because he sent me the video, like the whole thing. Because the shit I saw at first, it stopped right before the baby got ran over, and then, man, look, we'll talk about that now. I'll show the extended video. It doesn't show the baby actually getting hit, but it's tough to watch, bro. It really is. And the thing about the Dan, though, you gotta understand, it's like people are real, like, it's humorous, it's callous, but, you know, we take things here where we laugh a lot, but to keep from being upset about shit. But we were talking about this the other day, man, and that shit, I don't feel like it was the fault. It wasn't the driver's fault at all. It wasn't the driver's fault at all. Imagine, like, this is say a couple of things, right? And I know this is the sauce. Again, sauce line open. Y'all want to chop it up? Call into the sauce line. Definitely taking calls. But I don't feel like it was the driver's fault. You got a woman, and I believe looks to be about 3 kids, 2 small children. Maybe in that video you can't tell. Maybe an possibly older kid, maybe teenager. Could be an additional leg or something. But what I do know is that nobody attended to the baby that was not even 2 years old at this point, and left the baby basically inside the vehicle. The baby's walking around the vehicle, and you could tell that the baby was kind of scared because he was kind of holding on as she come around the corner. And I'm assuming when she made it to the front, you know, probably by the engine, she hears that. It kind of startles a little bit. She steps a little bit away. There's no way the driver can see. I mean, you can just look at the height of the vehicle, and it's a child, right? You can't. You're completely blind. You turn and you look in the back of your vehicle. You're the Uber driver. You turn and look back. There's nobody in your car. You're assuming that a responsible mother got her fucking kid out of the fucking car. But the person who looked to be the biggest individual on that camera, the mother, had no bags in her hand, wasn't carrying shit. The little girl in the green pants had something in her hands. The other kid had bags in her hands, and you're talking about a baby. The other 2 people basically walked past the mom, coming from the other side of the vehicle, and passed the mom up before she even clicked to recognize that, hey, something's not right here. And by the time she turned around, the damage had been done. Then when they got to beating up on him, trying to pull him out the car. Like, I don't blame. Like, it's a fucked up position because the way it looked like the baby was under. It looked like the baby was under. You know what I'm saying? It was the last thing they walked in front of the car. Yeah, like it's like she came from around the other side with the thing. But either way, like I said, I couldn't tell if the tallest one was the mother or the one that came from that side. Either way, the baby should have been being carried. Right? Like, the baby should not have been walking. It's a toddler. You're getting out of a strange vehicle. You're not knowing if he's backing up. You don't know if he's moving forward. We talked about that usually. The purpose is to go behind a vehicle. But you just were so enamored into whatever the fuck you were doing, you didn't check on the baby. No, the baby died. The baby died instantly. Like, baby died at the scene. Because what happened when they started grabbing him and beating up on him, I don't think he realized what was going on. Like, I don't think he knew what he hit because you couldn't see it. You couldn't see it. And I think the tire was still on the baby. And so when they were hitting on the car and doing all that other stuff, like, you're not knowing. You just bump something. In your head, you're thinking, everybody's out the car. They got the kids. I got some other thoughts on some other things, especially with new age, modern day parents. And I'm pretty sure he's probably happy that they got out the fucking car. But that's just, you know, hearsay on my part. And you're trying to get out of there. Not the loveliest area of Houston. Right? Right? Yeah, you already know, dude. Like, not the loveliest area of Houston. Not the probably safest place of Houston. You know what I'm saying? So you trade back and get the Fort. Look, I believe that there will be a play made on a current veteran player before the Texans move back up into the first at this point, right? And so with the baby, Eastside was some motherfucking deal. We talking about the rideshare driver that accidentally ran over the toddler because the mother was being neglectful. Honestly, that's just the only way to put it. Like I don't understand how you get out. I don't have kids, but I don't understand how you get out of a vehicle and not be aware of where the kids are. Like you so worried about this, it's lackadaisical. Just like if you watch this movie with like not a care in the world until you turn around and you see what happened. Then like I said, they beating all on the car, trying to open the door, beating the man. It's not his fault. Beat yourself up, right? And whoever did the dude that did the interview was like, trying to make that was not the driver's fault in any way, form, or fashion. It's not that driver's kid. Your job as a parent, as a guardian, is to protect the child at all costs. No matter what, right? To do the right thing. But instead, it's always easy to place the blame on somebody else. But I'm sure what's going to happen to clear their name, whoever was driving, or whatever company it was, I'm pretty sure they'll pay her some money. Get this thing out of court. There's going to be a whole bunch of money. The money's not going to last. It's going to go on a bunch of bullshit. Let's keep it 10,000. It's going to go on a bunch of bullshit, and then she'll be back in that apartment complex in about 2 years. So it's really fucked up. And I hate to give y'all, I'm almost going into den mentality. It's really fucked up. And I hate that child lost her life. But like, you got to think about it. Like if the child in a situation like that, where you're transferring yourself from the vehicle to the home, you're talking about traffic, you're talking about all kind of, there's 1,000 fucking hazards. I mean, from parking your car to going to your house, even if you're in your driveway. If you live in an apartment complex, even more. And you're so lackadaisical with it. I can only imagine what they allow the baby to do in home. There's probably nobody watching that baby at home. Baby probably running around doing who knows what, being neglected. And again, this is all speculation on my behalf. These are just my thoughts, my opinions. You can agree or disagree. I'm going to kill the conversation because I'm going way into some den shit. But we'll touch on that a little bit more because, like I said, I'm going to replay the video tonight, which is a nice topic in the den. But yeah, man, that was like I think one was the parent, but if we want to get political, the parental dynamic in modern day America, strong and independent, and what's encouraged and what's pushed these days. Yeah, it's wild, bro, and it's it really is. It really is fucked up, right? And that's why I stopped talking about a lot of shit with the kids because that shit takes a toll on me, bro. Like, you remember the Malia Davis thing a few years back? Like that like those stories, man. That shit is tough, bro. Like, it's the innocence, man. Like you get one existence of being innocent until that shit gets taken away from you, right? And this is a child. He hadn't even had a chance to understand the world it was living in. Gone because of negligent parents, right? Negligent parent. I hate people when they make the fucking younger siblings watch the children. I've seen people in comment sections over there talking about, well, I'm going way off the sauce. So yeah, y'all know I'm tired of it. Like I said, I'm out of there. But I've seen people in the comment section, oh, well, maybe she told one of the other kids. Well, that's not the fucking other kid's job, man. Like that's shitty parenting to me too. Like, I get it. You can have the older child help out from time to time. But that kid, like when you make the older kid watch the child, to me, that's fucking shitty ass parenting because you're taking away that kid's childhood. And a lot of people do that, right? Like that kid didn't ask to fucking be the guardian of your additional children. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I can't stand that shit. Like that shit frustrates the fuck out of me. Like you had the kid, you take care of the kid. Now, making kids do chores, absolutely, 100% agree with that. Having standards for children and making them follow, 100% about that. But making a child do your job, no way. Absolutely fucking not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's why you got so many people who are like fucked up. You have a lot of people who felt like they never had a child. You have a lot of the oldest siblings who felt like they never had a chance to really be children because you had other kids in succession. Maybe, even if they were a couple of years older, well, now you're almost raising the kid. And especially depending on the household you come from. I know a lot of people come from households that were not the steadiest, were not the sturdiest, and probably weren't instructed to take over, but they felt the need to have to take over and handle that responsibility because their parents were negligent. And so they became basically parents having to raise their fucking siblings all throughout childhood. Never had a chance to be children. Never had a chance to fucking be kids, man. And that shit bothers me. Like, we got a lot of shit that's real ass backwards. But let's bring it back to the Texans. Let's bring it back to speaking of kids, right? Speaking of kids and fucked up shit. Let's talk about Houston's number one baby daddy right now, Jalen Green. Houston is a city of players, right? Houston is a city of game. Kevin Samuels used to say Houston was the finesse capital of the world, finesse capital of America, something like that. Jalen Green, how the fuck did you get finessed by an old ass bopper? And I know y'all like, honcho, chill, honcho, that's his baby mama. That's just, I don't give a fuck. If you love that bitch, you'll put a ring on it. That bitch is a predator. That bitch preyed on that man, got him slipping. Now, I don't understand, like, what these niggas don't know at this point. Like, I could almost excuse it. You can only have one baby mama per player. A championship you can get to. Now, I don't understand it, bro. Like, that nigga needed to watch some fucking Kevin Samuels. I'm like, come on, bro. Danger zone. Like, I need all the Kevin Samuels sound effects for fucking Jalen Green, bro. Like, that nigga there. But it's making him play out his fucking mind. Right? He's playing out his fucking mind now. Right? Shit. This nigga trying to beat that child support on the fucking court. Not in court, on the court. Like, he's trying to beat that child. He paying him fucking $40,000. Dunk on the nigga. Like, he is trying to, like when you're, like when Kobe had his situation. This is one of them type of situations. Oh, this might be it for me. Right? Like, bro. What you gonna do? Put your baby in your purse, nigga? Like, don't get me wrong. I rock with Jalen Green, the athlete. I tell y'all all the time, fuck with people for what you fuck with them for. So, like, I don't, if it's an athlete, I don't give a fuck about an athlete's politics, right? Because I didn't follow him for political information. I follow him because he's a talented athlete. So I'm not gonna get mad because some goofy athlete comes and says just some stupid ass shit that they're uninformed about because they don't live in the same reality as us, right? And they're just eating off whoever they feel has the most valued opinion is telling them. Because, let's be honest, a lot of these athletes went to college because of their talent. A lot of them didn't graduate, or a lot of them weren't the smartest, weren't the sharpest tool in the shed. And this is not hating. This is just facts. So they're not informed on the world they live in, right? I call them retarded. But I know this, you're not supposed to say, but they really are. Athletes really are retarded because they are shielded from reality. Think about it. Y'all all knew athletes growing up when you were in school. They got special treatment. They didn't have to do the shit you had to do. They didn't have to go through the same process. They got to skip the test on Friday. Well, you're a star athlete. They ain't study, ain't do nothing. So they were dumbed down, right? They were just kind of pushed along because they had the skill set. So they don't, most of them don't have the level of intelligence that your average human being has, right? And we're talking about America, which ain't, we ain't the sharpest tools in the shed across the board as a country, right? What is it, like a 5th grade, 4th grade reading level on average, something like that, something crazy. So, it's just, I don't value athletes' opinions on anything else other than sports, right? That's what you should. So I'm not hating on Jalen Green, the athlete. I fuck with Jalen Green, the athlete. But Jalen Green, the guy, I don't know if that's a guy I would be friends with. Like, he would be a nigga you walk by, what's up, dog, and just give him you give him a little fist bump. I don't shake your hands. Like you put your hands in germ infested places with shit that might not wash off. You just get a dap. That's what you get, a little fist bump. Keep it hygienic. But yeah, Jalen Green, the guy, the nails, the purses. I'm old, right? You see the number on the screen. Look what we got here, 40. I'm almost fucking 40. So you might be like, you old head, nigga. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. As old, I wouldn't have fell for that fucking. Ain't no motherfucker. Like, do y'all understand? If I was an athlete, do you understand how overprotective of my dick I would be? Like you don't. I would have that bitch like. I would put it like in a box. They have a lock box for that motherfucker. Something nice. So you can't just bitch can't come through at night try to steal your dick. Like like pimp say, bitch trying to steal my dick. I mean, for real. Like this is a multi-million-dollar. It needs to be insured because this.
Hello. I'm the motherfucking deal, honcho. I believe y'all took an episode yesterday that I think y'all better take your votes over again. Hello? Yeah, I can hear you. I think y'all need to re-vote again.
We need to
about
revote
your
it.
little episode yesterday.
So you disagree with our manager rankings, Mr. Gangster?
Well, let me ask you this. Are y'all not still benefiting off of my draft
In what way would you say so, Mr. Gangster?
and my transactions?
In what way would you say that we are still benefiting from the mind of the gangster?
You have 2 bookend offensive tackles because of me that are still playing. Remember, I was there for the Tunsil trade.
You know, Mr.
I
Gangster.
think y'all forget.
I think
y'all forget how sexy I made the Titus Howard trade look. Remember when I talked about we were looking for strong, smart, athletic, stronger, faster, and then I said, "Go ahead, make the pick." You remember that? Ain't nobody ever made the draft look so sexy like me, because I'm the gangster.
The gangster, you are correct. I mean, Mr. Gangster, I'm gonna be honest. It was because your time with us was so brief. We kind of had to disqualify you a little bit because it was only 11 months. You know, it wasn't even like a full calendar year. You know, it wasn't even
That's all I needed, honcho. That's all I needed. 11 months.
11 months to make your mark.
Everybody, look at the guy that's there. He needed 4 years. I was in the playoffs twice.
Well, Mr. Gangster,
Lonnie Johnson.
No.
You're still benefiting from Lonnie Johnson.
Oh no.
Although that really wasn't totally my pick, but still my draft.
Okay. So we should put some more respect on the gangster because the reason that light skinned CJ is able to stay upright is because of the moves that the gangster made.
Justin Reed still playing, winning Super Bowls.
That hurts.
Just rank it. I didn't say to trade him, but Butchin did. Now, Max Sharping, the polo player guy, that was all Butchin.
You're not taking any responsibility for that?
No, absolutely not. And you also have to remember something.
Yes.
I got screwed by Jack Easterby too.
Oh, yeah. That was a cancer that had to be removed. That eventually I think that put us in this at this point. If you had something to say to Jack Easterby now, wherever he may be on this planet, what would you say to Jack Easterby, Mr. Gangster?
Am I allowed to say it on this show?
Oh yeah, this is a sauce. You can say whatever you want to.
Go ahead, punk. Lick my ass.
The gangster speaks. So, Mr. Gangster, how are things for you now? I mean, are you missing your tenure as a Texan GM? How do you feel about your successor? Do you feel like he's doing a good job where you left off?
I think people fail to realize that I became the general manager because I was the guy working as an assistant director of personnel trying to get Nikki over here. And then that didn't go right because Butchin thought it was a good idea to tamper. But I was trying to get him here. People fail to remember that too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Right, that's true. So I think we do got to put a little bit of respect on the gangster. You know what I'm saying? Because there are traces of what you did here. David Johnson for prime DeAndre Hopkins. Who do we blame for that? Is that all Billy O?
That's Butchin.
It's all Billy O. No suggestions from the gangster. No hint of.
I at that point everything was going to shit, and I was already going to get fired.
No, okay. So you already had one foot out the door, and you just fuck it. Okay.
I'm just saying. Look, I'm just saying. I think I surpassed Gangster Rick.
So
I just playoff appearances.
So my
playoff appearances.
Okay. So my thing is this, Mr. Gangster. If we were to redo the list, right? And I believe, what was it yesterday? Let me see if I have my notebook over here somewhere. I believe Wink's list was it was Rick, then Charlie, then Nick. And
Okay.
you were omitted. So where would you say you go on that
Charlie.
list?
I come before Charlie.
Oh.
It definitely come before Charlie.
Oh.
Now, if you want to put the other two in front, that's fine. I understand the new guy. He's the new thing right now. Gangster Rick, he took the team to being respectable. I get it, whatever. I was trying to win Super Bowls.
Okay.
And look, I'm going to tell you this. You still wouldn't have had this draft if I never would have drafted Jordan Akins. Jordan Akins caught the touchdown that gave you this draft.
That's true.
My fingerprints are all over everything.
That's true. Are your fingerprints on the NDAs for the Booty Warrior? Are your fingerprints on any of those?
Those are Kaimis.
Okay. Kaimi Kokobata. Okay. All right. Okay. So at this point, your successor decided to step back from the first round this year, right? Or as of right now. From GM, an actual GM to us armchair GMs, what do you think that Tricky Nick is thinking
Well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this was the same guy that would trade free agents that he just signed months, even weeks before the draft started. It doesn't surprise me. And he put himself in position that first year to be able to move up to get Nico Collins because of those moves. That's pretty crafty. This tells me all he's doing is putting himself in a position to be flexible, to move up, move down, acquire a player, get rid of a contract. He's up to something. That's all I can tell you. Because nobody knows.
Yeah, Tricky Nick. He's a crafty guy. So if you were to place a bet, do you think that the Texans end up having a first round pick before it's all said and done?
Yes. Okay. And he's gonna do it. He's gonna fuck over the Arizona Cardinals again and get his 27th pick back.
Oh. Okay. Let me put that as a gangster. Mark my motherfucking words. He's getting the 27th pick back.
Better yet, he's gonna jump in front of them. If you look at it, they're probably one of the ones that are most probable of getting a receiver or a defensive back. And they'll move up into the Bucks. The Bucks want a defensive tackle. So they'll move up with the Bucks. They'll take the guy that they want right there. Plain and simple. And beat Arizona to it. Once again, showing Arizona that they didn't win any trade at all. Just a reminder.
Just a reminder.
Because Nicky sneaky like that.
Do you think that? No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
He makes deals that people can't refuse.
No, I believe it. I definitely believe it. Some of these things he's pulled off, I'm like, how? Nick got holding people's families hostages and shit. So with Nick, right? Because he's such a crafty guy, because he does make these moves, and do you think that he's establishing? Is he making bonds across the league, or is he burning bridges across the league? In your opinion, do you think he's making more friends or more enemies?
It's not friends or enemies. It's just business.
Just business, okay.
And he's making sure that the next time you deal with him, you better be on your P's and Q's and make sure it's exactly what you want. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to hand this over to Ricky, okay. And Ricky's going to answer everything for me because I got to get going. I have a job to find. Okay. I'm a real gangster.
Shout out to the gangster. Always good talking to you guys. Let me talk to Ricky D. Let's see what's on Ricky D mind this evening, man.
Hey, Honcho, what's up, man? Y'all pissed him off, bro. He was mad. He was trying to call y'all last night.
Yeah,
that's who was trying to call y'all.
I saw it.
He was like, "No, you're gonna take this phone call, man."
Yeah, I was fired up. I was like, "Man, look, I didn't know if we could do it with the current setup, but man, so Ricky, like your thoughts, right? Because you look at the history of things, you know, you find correlations, you find patterns, and that's what I always love about talking to you because you find little insights a lot of people don't pick up on. So when you're looking at Nick and just kind of where we're sitting right now, what does history tell you? What is it? What do you think is going to happen come draft day with the Texans?
Man, so you know how earlier you were saying that some people take this real serious?
Yeah.
It's not that I take it serious. It's just that the draft has always kind of intrigued me because, I vividly remember, like when Earl got drafted by the Oilers and all that took place, like how nobody even thought that was even going to happen, and then all of a sudden it happened. I vividly remember that. I vividly remember when the Oilers got Eddie George and even Steve McNair, all those things. I remember just sitting in front of the TV and making that an all-day thing. Because, I mean, you remember the draft was just Saturday and Sunday. And it was all day Saturday. Like, it was on the whole day, all set at the time, 12 rounds, and then down to 7. But even the day 2 was only like the 5th through the 7th round. And anyhow, so that's that history part. So I do tend to look at some of these things. So when I look at it in terms of Nicky and Nick Caserio and what he's doing, one thing that I can see is that he always adjusts. He uses the off season to make sure that draft day is exactly how he wants it to go, or close to how he wants it to go. We have to remember that this is a guy that operated without a first-round pick for his first 2 seasons. And I think that from that moment, that's where he kind of figured out I don't want to say that that's when he figured it out, but I think he utilized that experience into what he's got now. Because if you recall, we signed a quarterback that now he's balling out with the Cincinnati Bengals, right? Like, he was not doing good here for some reason. And I think, I don't know, the other day somebody said, man, we don't know what goes behind closed doors with these players and why they end up getting traded. I kind of feel like that dude that quarterback signed with us, saw what was going on, and was like, get me the hell out of here. Yeah. And so Nick did, and Nick made the best he could out of that. And again, put him in position to where when he saw a player that he liked, now he could go and get him. And I kind of feel like that. I also feel like you see that. You see even last year, obviously he had something going on in place, for the possibility of moving up from 11 to 3, that, which was huge. But then he was moved all the rest of that draft. All he kept doing was moving up, man. And it was, he loads himself up with these bottom draft picks that get him whatever he wants, and he's been pretty good at that. I think, to answer your other question, I think one of these days the draft is going to get real easy for him. And I think that's going to be because at some point people are going to turn around and say, man, I'm not dealing with that guy no more. Yeah. He understands the values of the picks, and he maneuvers too easly, It's either going to do that or one of them is going to bite him in the ass, eventually, But you outweigh the good with the bad, right? I mean, that's going to happen if you're one of those type of GMs. That's going to happen. And, I remember, like, Rick Smith was like, he loved to move down. It seemed like, I was trying to remember, or he didn't do any moving until like after the 3rd round. Or, like, I just remember that. Nicky goes for, like, it's like Nick goes for like home run type of deals, like, and I think that's a good, like I said, it's a good and a bad thing. One thing that I also want to share too, man, is that certain radio stations were grading Caserio today. And I find it funny that that's after we were talking about who's the best GM and stuff like that. I don't know, just a bit of coincidence.
Yeah, it's always a coincidence. That's and the thing about it is me personally, I don't see, because I truly honestly do not listen. So and it's really, I would say early on in the sauce I probably start tuning out. But yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, like I said, this shit, it is what it is. They need a little
the narrative is well too, man, because it used to be not as critical as they are now. It used to be a lot more of go with the flow kind of stuff, and now all of a sudden they're critical. I believe Soft Sports has changed a lot of that narrative. anyways, man, not to talk about them. I'm looking at Nick Caserio. There's a part of me that wants to trust him on this moving out of the first round, and the only reason why I have a lot of trust for that is because some of their needs, there's going to be like an influx of those needs in the second round. Like I said, I believe there's going to be quite a few receivers that you can, literally look at them and say, no, that guy's a playmaker. Yeah. I'm kind of starting to lean with you now, especially with the signing of Steven Sims. I'm starting to get that feeling like receiver is going to be a luxury pick more than it's going to be a necessity pick. Yeah. Or it's going to be a BPA pick more than a need pick. I think defensive tackle, it becomes slim pickings as far as the dominant guys go. And really, to be honest with you, I'm only seeing like Tavondre Sweat and the dude from Florida State. I believe his name is Braylon Frisk. I'm only seeing them as like, good, solid picks. Them and maybe the kid from LSU, Mason. But after that, it like falls off between like in those meat and potato rounds, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and then it kind of picks up again back in the 6th. So I really feel they're probably narrowing down that. Also think cornerback is probably now a bigger deal now than a wide receiver because I don't feel like our receiving core is bad. It would have been nice to have picked up a better player. I think they're even probably going to look at June 1st cut, things like that. I don't know. But that's what I like about Nick. Here's something else that I want to remind you about Nick and about what Houston's draft history past, and especially with the Gangsta and especially with Titus Howard, that specific draft in general. If you recall, there were some offensive tackles that were we never hated the pick. We never hated the position, right? We just hated the pick. I remember us being upset at like that was a guy you could have gotten in the 2nd round. Yeah. Right? Philadelphia moved up in front of us. Philadelphia made it widely known that one of the reasons why they knew to move up was because they literally could go to like a Houston Texans website and look at and listen to all the interviews and all the stuff that these guys would do, and they would get clues from Bill O'Brien and everybody else because they would divulge their information to their own media team and everything. Yep. And Caserio, we all got blindsided when we got the number 3 pick last. I mean, we were all blindsided. Yeah, it was some of us kind of thought like, well, maybe there's an option, but not all the way to 3. No. And apparently we're still thinking of moving up even further before that. So it was like, he does a lot of things that just keeps you under wraps. And I think at first it was like, why did he do that? Like in his first part of his tenure was like, why did he do that? Well, man, there's not a whole lot he could do. Well, hardly any money, hardly any picks. The general manager operates with that. And if you go back and you look at the picks, I mean, some of those guys are gone, but guys like Charles Omenihu are still playing in the league, and we still got Brevin Jordan from it, and I mean, and we got a pretty decent backup, Davis Mills, and I mean, those we're still operating with some of that draft, so not so bad, considering where he had to start, man. So I don't know, man. Yesterday hearing y'all talk about all the stuff with Charlie Casserly, man, made me realize too that guy also did with what he could do too. But I don't know. Nick is putting himself in a upper echelon type thing. But I think it depends on this draft.
Yeah. I know those guys had to walk so Nick could run or fly or however you want to say it. Those guys had to lay a foundation so that Nick could be in a position. So we definitely want to give them, their credit and their dues too. But just kind of the situation, like you said, it's just something about him. Also, when you mentioned about stuff getting leaked out, it made me think about Pat Mahomes, because I remember him saying that, coming out and saying, "Yeah, Texas really like me," and blah, 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 basically.
Bill O'Brien loves me.
Yeah.
He said, Bill O'Brien loves me. I was like, well, there goes that.
Yeah, and I remember that happening. So, and then kind of, and I'm not knocking it. Let's not act like Deshaun wasn't electric when he was here, and we loved him when he was here till he got all weird. But you almost in a situation where you had to make that move. But yeah, I agree. Right. Yeah, probably one of the smartest moves Nick is doing is not leaking out information to the local media.
And the truth is that we were going to stay there at our pick because nobody was going to go after Mahomes that early. Nobody was going to do that. But because of the fact that we leaked all that, Kansas City jumped ahead, and then we had to move up to get Watson. So it's a lot of little different things. But anyways, man, I just think I'm man, these off seasons right now, they've been exciting and fun, even though some of the moves have been questionable. I just feel like today I kind of looked at our defensive line roster, and I'm seeing some of the names on the defensive tackle position, and I'm seeing a good amount of rotation guys. And I know that sometimes people will say, well, you're not going to get a Tavondre Sweat because he's only going to play like 2 down. When you look at the need, when you just look at the overall need based on the season, the inability to stop the run was a huge reason why we couldn't win, certain games. And it was a huge reason why some of these games came down to the wire too. I mean, even when you go back and you look at some of our wins, like against the Saints and even against the Steelers, it got a little choppy there in the fourth quarter for a bit because of that. And I'll take a guy that comes in, stops the run for 2 downs, and then we got a defensive line of Khalil Davis, Danico Autry, Hunter, and Anderson on 3rd down with their ears pinned back. I'll take that any day.
Exactly.
Because if we force people into a 3rd and 15, then we have the ability to do those kind of things now. But it's when they're 3rd and 5 and then we can't get no pressure, we can't get no penetration up the middle, they sustain drives, man.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And I agree. No, definitely, like I said, because definitely 3rd and long. Definitely 3rd and long. We're golden at this point. I don't have no concerns in that situation. But yeah, like you said, the run has definitely been a bit of a hindrance. And there would be times, like I said, we would look real good, and then sometimes we would just kind of get chewed up. I don't know what would happen. Sometimes I don't know if it was a lapse in communication or what exactly. But definitely something we have to consider. Ray, I think Ray is disagreeing with you. Say Ray says, "Thank God Ricky ain't the GM." What is your beef, Ray, with you say the high draft pick on a 2-down player? Ray's against the high draft pick on a 2-down player. Okay, I can see that.
And you know what? I agree with that thought process. I'm not disputing that thought process. But if the guy can come in and dominate, then we need to probably get that. That's my way of looking at it, because there's going to be another receiver at pick 59. At pick 59, I'm not sure how many defensive tackles are still going to be there, that are worth the damn, And right now I feel like our rotation allows us the opportunity to be able to take a player like that. I don't dispute that taking a 2-down player on defense like that is worth such a high pick. But I just kind of feel like the talent itself outweighs that thought process. I feel like he's going to be a guy that's going to take up blocks, and Anderson's going to be able to eat, and and things like that. And that's because I've watched a lot of Texas football this year. I'm from Austin, man, so I've seen a lot of that. Not biased on picking Texas players, but just saying I've seen what he's been able to do and what he does when he's in, and how he changes the game a lot. I'm more of a Byron Murphy fan, if you ask me, though. So, I mean, Tavondre Sweat's kind of like we couldn't get Byron Murphy guy.
Yeah.
I am interested in knowing if Ray believes we should take an offensive guard in this draft at some point.
Ray, the O-line guru. How do you feel? Do you feel like we should be taking a guard at some point in the draft, Mr. Ray? The prophet Ray. You know, I come up under the school of Ray. You know, I dropped out at one point in time. You know, I didn't pay my tuition, and then he put me on the on academic probation, that Denver game a few years back. And ever since then, I have listened to the two. Ever since then, I can't doubt the Ray. Ray, you say no offensive guards. Okay, interesting, very interesting.
It's just not a big amount of talent there. I kind of feel, and I kind of feel like we already have a few guys, and I don't know. Anyways, I'm not going to go too far into it, but. Man, the only reason why I don't like that we moved back, I'm not going to lie, Adonai Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, that would have been nice to have. But there is a receiver that I don't think many people outside of Austin really consider. Jordan Whittington is probably a really great late pick to get at receiver. And he fits the mold of what a Houston Texan offensive player should be. He's very much team-oriented. He's a I'll do whatever it takes to win kind of guy. He runs the ball as well as, he literally could be our Deebo Samuel. He could be the guy that runs the jet sweep. He can take Tank Dell away from doing that, so that way we're not putting him at any more higher risk. And he's just an overall good receiver, team player attitude guy, and he's pretty good, man. In fact, a lot of times when Texas would be in need of a real big third down, he would come up huge for them. So I kind of like a guy like that too, though.
Somebody said,
am I getting?
No, so somebody says, please don't tell me he blocks well.
No, it's not that it's not just that he blocks well. He does everything he's supposed to. You know, like, I mean, here's another one for all of the old school sauce people. He has dreads.
Oh, well, that's all we need. That's all we need. He verified in my book. As long as he got dreads, he drafted.
He's got dreads, so he's
draft.
Got to draft him. He's got dreads.
Got to draft him. Dreads got to draft him. That's
I just think too, he's just got that D'Amico Ryans locker room attitude, and it's not just attitude. It's just if you go and you look at some Jordan Whittington highlights, you'll see a guy that just puts a lot of effort into everything. And like I said, I'm not saying he's going to be this great player, but I do believe he could be an upgrade from John Mechie and Hutchinson. I really believe he's in that area where he could be that guy, and he runs, like I said, he runs the ball too. Like, and I'm not talking only jet sweeps. He'll line up in the backfield and take the handoff and go up the middle. Like he's an all around kind of guy, and that's the kind of guy that I think D'Amico likes because of the attitude of get the job done in order to win.
Okay. Definitely have to take a look. Bobby Thornton say, dude is legit. Black Vegeta, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see if I mention Clarence. What's the motherfucking deal? Good to see you, Josh. What's the motherfucking deal? And if I miss you, I ain't this year, I promise. Let me see. You said upgrade over Nico. You don't feel like Nico is solid?
I
Eastside
didn't upgrade over Nico.
You say?
I didn't say that Jordan Whittington is an upgrade
No.
over Nico.
Eastside was saying that we need an upgrade over Nico, and I was asking if he didn't think Nico was a solid number one or was a number one. I know that was an argument a lot of us were having last year. Was Nico really a number one receiver? I think he proved himself as the season went on that he is. But we'll have to see. And Mr. Allgood, welcome to Sauce Nation. You are the freshest ingredient. Sauce Nation. So Mr. Trading, I'm hoping I ain't fucking your name up. Trading Allgood. It's all good, baby. Make sure y'all show him some love. Welcome to freshest ingredient to the sauce. So yeah, we'll have to take a look at some of these guys. Well, at least Whittington definitely, because definitely not familiar. You say you're the white boy McConkley? Well, that's just the name McConkley. Sounds like a CWB
I like
to me.
I'm also I think Roman Wilson would be a good addition to this team too. I just think he would. You gotta understand. Like for me, I also look at the career, because some of these guys, they do come out, right, and they had the one good senior year or something, and I just, there's certain players that I've seen, like they've been doing it their whole time that they were at the school, like as soon as they came out and played, they're just doing it, and to me, Roman Wilson is kind of one of those dudes. I mean, I think I've seen more than 1 year of, and McConkey too. Well, McConkey's one of those guys as well too, that you just saw him more than one year of him making plays, man. And it's just one of those things where you got to say, well, it's not a fluke because the guy's been doing it for this long, Now, whether it translates to NFL is a different story,
Definitely. Yeah, that. Some people peak in college. Some guys that you might have thought were so in college. Some guys hit the league and they turn another corner. So it's always, to me, the draft can always be it can be a crapshoot sometimes. But
it's what it is, man. Yeah. Anyways, Honcho, I'm gonna let you go, man. I'm gonna listen, and man, it's good to talk to all of y'all. Y'all be cool, man.
Already, Ricky D, and shout out to the gangster. I definitely appreciate you calling in, my brother, and it's good to hear from you. I appreciate you spilling some sauce with me this evening.
You got it, man. Be cool.
Already, you too. Shout out to Ricky D and Ricky D Shoe Signs, Ricky D and Sons Shoe Signs. If you're in the Austin area and your shoes looking dusty, and I know some old folks say they want to call in, but I got Den at 9, and I got to get the Den stuff up, so we're going to wrap it up here at the 30-minute mark. But, so I apologize for that. So I know folks do want to get their calls in, but I got to get the Den stuff together so we can be live for the Den at 9. So I told y'all we're going to be fired up. The women are going to be unhappy in the Den today because we're going to talk about the thing in the Den that women hate the most, more than anything else. And if you want to know how to get to the Den, go to thedenshow.com. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification bell, black it out or whatever, because the Den Show, they say I make malicious content. They wouldn't remonetize me because they say I make harmful content. I just speak the truth. But tonight we're talking about the new NWO. And women hate the new NWO. And you're like, Honcho, what do you mean, the New World Order? No! Niggas with options. Women can't stand it. And so that's what we'll be talking about in the Den tonight. Again, shout out to all y'all, man. Y'all know I love and appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. Whether you just listening in, just enjoying the conversation, whether you sitting back talking shit, I hate that nigga with those nappy dreads, he gets on my nerves. Hey, as long as you attributing a view to the show, I don't give a fuck. But those of you who've been fucking with it for a long time, those of you just new to it but true to it, it's nothing but love on my end. Ain't no hate. Shout out to everybody out there who is creating independent Texans content, Houston content, sports content, getting it done. Ain't nothing but love from the sauce. Shout out to Boss Bam G. What's the motherfucking deal? So like I said, it's going to be a very interesting conversation. I know TD probably out there. Y'all talking about my nigga Nico. TD about to blow the line up. I'm probably going to have like 3 voicemails on that, and they're going to be mad at me. But shout out to my nigga TD. It's all love. But let me go ahead and get this shit together so I can get the Den on time because I don't want the Den folk mad at me too. And I told you I'm going to show y'all the video, kind of the extended video with the baby. we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that shitty ass mom. We're going to talk about a couple other videos I didn't show you guys last night that I meant to. I just went on a fucking talking rampage last night. So a couple other things we're going to speak on. And we'll have a great stream. We're going to have a great show in the den tonight. So make sure you are there for that at 9 o'clock. So go get your snacks. Go get whatever debauchery you're into. Maybe pour you a nice adult beverage and pull up to the den. We're going to have a great conversation. Again, if you don't know, I am a firm believer in free speech. Whether I agree with you or disagree with you, that applies to the sauce, that applies to the den. Look, I value your opinions more than I probably should, right? I guess. But anyway. With that being said, here, I'm going to put the link in here right now for the den. Just should have clicked. What is, oh, it's this. Again, right here. Just go to thedenshow.com. And, no, that should have made it a link, but it didn't. But yeah, so with that being said, I appreciate y'all, man. I thank you. Make sure you're following Sauce Sports on Instagram and X. Don't take X, follow on X, Sauce Sports HTX. Sauce Sports on Facebook, of course, on the channel, saucesports.com. Will take you directly to the channel, so tell a friend about the sauce. Sauce Sports on YouTube. If you want to join the Discord, if you want 24/7 sauce, I mean, you need an overload of sauce. I mean, if you at work, you're like, I wish I had some sauce right now. These nuggets are extra dry. Join the Sauce Discord. The round tables in the Discord. A lot of Sauce Nations in the Discord. Great conversations. Very interesting arguments. There was some anime beef in the Discord today, so we may have to make an anime section in the Discord because apparently there was too much anime cluttering up the Texans timeline, so we'll work on that. But again, y'all, I appreciate y'all. I thank each and every one of you for being here. You can be anywhere in the world. The fact you came through and spilled some sauce with your boy, came through and spilled some sauce with Sauce Nation. Man, again, I know I was kind of out of there today, and so my apologies for that. Was not on point. Just been a tired day, been a lot going on, but I'm trying to make sure I'm more consistent. At the least half the, but what is it? 90% of the game is showing up, right? So, with that being said, again, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool, but most of all, y'all stay saucy, and we'll be rocking tomorrow, 7 p.m. Same sauce time, same sauce channel. I will see you then. Have a good evening. If I don't catch you in the den. Adios, amigos.